Listen up, you've been applying for jobs all wrong. When most people want a new job, they spend hours perfecting their resume and then they make the mistake of applying to hundreds of companies. Then they sit and wait only to get rejection emails or not hear anything at all. Does this sound like you? As a recruiter, let me tell you what's actually happening behind the scenes whenever you apply for a job and why applying for a lot of jobs is actually getting you rejected. Whenever you apply for a job, some companies will use AI to automatically reject resumes that don't have enough keywords that match their job description. Now, unfortunately, you'll never know what keywords are set in the system. Now, whenever you apply for a job at that same company in the future, the system will recognize that you have applied and been marked as someone who's been rejected before, thus lowering your chances of your resume actually being seen by the recruiter. Now, the bigger companies usually don't use AI to automatically review and reject resumes. Instead, they pay tons of recruiters to look at all of the resumes that come through their online system. But the same process basically applies even if it's done by a recruiter. Whenever you apply for a job, if you're not a good fit for that job that you apply to, the recruiter is supposed to try and see if there's another job opening at their company that you could also be a match for at that time. But if there isn't another job for you, then they will also mark your resume as rejected, and then you'll get a mark in the system. And then when you apply again in the future for the company, other recruiters will see that you've been rejected before. And then they'll initially assume that you are a bad candidate, thus lowering your chances of them actually seeing and reviewing your resume. Now, all of that is happening at the hundreds of companies that you just applied to. So congratulations, you've just blacklisted yourself at hundreds of companies. So how do we avoid this? What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your resume and you're gonna apply to 10 to 20 different companies that you don't actually wanna work for, but you wanna make sure that you're applying for jobs that you're actually qualified for. Then you're gonna wait 2 weeks to see how many interviews that you get and how many callbacks. Now, if you don't get any interviews or lower than the amount that you wanted, then you're gonna go back and revisit and then fix your resume. Now, if you're not sure what you should be changing on your resume or how to optimize it for the ATS, you're gonna wanna watch this video right over here where I teach you key tips about how to stand out with your resume to recruiters. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, I already got some interviews, so this entire video doesn't apply to me, right? Wrong. It's actually even worse for you if you got some interviews but failed them. Once we have interview data on you and it doesn't work out, the next time you apply for a job at my company, it's going to get flagged and even further decrease your chances of getting an interview, even worse than if you had just applied online and got rejected without the interview. So when you are able to land an interview with a company, if it's a company you actually want to work at, you need to make sure that you take the time to study and practice, because if you get rejected on your interview, you will be blacklisted from interviewing there again for at least 12 to 24 months. And if you want some advanced interviewing techniques so that you can actually stand out in your interviews, watch this video right here. Now, there is one situation that will actually increase your chances of getting a job offer at this company, and that is if you were to interview, do well, and then decline their job offer. So the next time you apply for a job at that company, it's actually gonna bring your resume to the very top of the list, and then recruiters are definitely gonna give you a call. So if you take nothing away from this video, just remember that you should not try to apply for a ton of jobs when you aren't sure if your resume or interviewing skills are perfect. And if you want more career tips just like this, make sure you click subscribe because I post free weekly videos just like this. And don't be afraid to shake things up.